Thank you, Vallegro. Right then, boys and girls, so it is time to do the Wowhead Economy Weekly Wrap-Up, number 179. We're really churning through these. Samadan has put this together for us again this week. If you are not aware who Samadan is, firstly, crawl out from behind that rock that you appear to be living in. Go check out Samadan on his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel. If you're intrigued on how to get up and running with Trade Skill Master, that is seemingly what Samadan is almost famous for at this point on his YouTube channel. He's also got a long-running introductory sort of series to goal making that's well worth checking out as well. And of course, he streams over on Twitch like everybody does nowadays, so go give him a follow. But he puts this report together for us every week, so we like to go through it on a Monday just to see what's been happening, what's being reported on, make sure that we're up to date with everything that's, you know, going on in the World of Warcraft economy. So, table of contents for this week. Higher ranks 5 and 6 legendaries on the PTR. Botting software getting closed down, making gold with the mission table, investing before 9.1, and then a bit of further reading for those that want to continue on. So, first point of call, higher ranks 5 and 6 legendaries on the PTR. We've been tracking the continued development on the PTR of how legendary crafting works, and with the most up-to-date release of the PTR, one of the final pieces of the puzzle has been released. Yes, we this week worked out just exactly how... We kind of knew exactly how, but we hadn't been able to test it up until this point, and there is still some balancing to do on the PTR, but we now have been given the ability to craft the rank 5 and the rank 6 legendary items on the PTR. Your rank 5 is coming in at an item level 249, which is a weird number for sure, but then item level 262 for the equivalent of your rank 6. Now, of course, it is the community that is calling them rank 5 and rank 6. You don't actually learn any new ranks with your professions. We create these with the use of this item here called a Vestige of Origins. Your Vestige of Origins is, in simple terms, the crafter's mark, but for the legendary gear, right? So your crafter's marks have been used up until this point to either increase the item level or in some cases decrease the item level of crafted gear. And Vestige of Origins basically does the same but for the base legendary items. Its effect on the base legendary items is pretty simple. It simply increases the rank of that craft by 2. So if you craft a rank 1, throw a Vestige of Origins in it, you'll actually create a rank 3. And that works up all the way so that if you create a rank 3 with a Vestige of Origins, hey presto, you get yourself the equivalent of a rank 5. And of course, if you've unlocked rank 4, if you've been really grinding away at your legendaries, you can go to craft a rank 4 using all the materials that a regular rank 4 needs. Add that Vestige of Origins in there as well, and what will pop out the other end will be your 262, or as the community is referring to it, rank 6 base legendary item. So it seems that the intention of the Vestige of Origins is designed to increase the rank by +2. Yes, as we've just gone through. There was initially some bugs, but that's just PTR bugs. We won't worry about those. Something that is really crucial for people to know is how these Vestige of Origins are made. Vestige of Origins are made with one new material. There only appears to be one new material coming in patch 9.1, and it is this thing, the Korthite Crystal. Korthite Crystal is the core component that goes into making these Vestige of Origins. To make the Vestige of Origins, you also need some of the default profession materials. So if you're making it on your leather worker, you'll need a few pieces of leather. If you're making it on a jewel crafter, you may need some gems or some essences or something like that as well. But the core component that goes into making these Vestige of Origins is these Korthite crystals. These things are, for the most part, coming from your Korthia world quests. They can be found in the treasures in and around Korthia as well. So as and when you're going around doing your daily activities, you might come across these. These are the element of it that are tradable. Korthite crystals can be bought, they can be sold, they can be listed on the auction house, causing there to be a bit of an economy built up around them. I'm still intrigued just to see how much these are going to be valued at. There's some numbers bouncing around the community sort of indicating that these might be worth somewhere in the region of about 10,000 gold a piece. It's almost impossible at this point, in my opinion, to put a true figure to them because they've not balanced the materials. If you only need one to craft one vestige, to craft one base legendary item, they'll be super rare the first couple of days, but within a few days, they'll just the auction house will be flooded with them. Now, of course, if the supply outstrips the demand, then that causes the price to decrease most of the time as well. So only time will tell exactly what these end up going for on the auction house. I guess it's going to be a case of, well, they will sell for as much as people are willing to buy them for, and that's going to be based on just how popular and how much people are able to sell their rank 5 legendaries for, or rank 6s, of course. But yes, Korthite crystals go into making Vestige of Origins. Vestige of Origins then allow you to create rank 5 and rank 6 legendaries. Bingo! Korthite crystals has only been confirmed as a reward from the dailies. The weekly quest, like the meta quest for the zone, apparently the Korthite crystals can pop out of the chest that you gain from that as well. Plus it can be found in certain treasure locations around Korthia as well. It was actually Dirty Irby that put together a lot of this content initially. He jumped straight on the PTR as soon as it went live and was able to get a lot of this information out there. So make sure you go check out Dirty Irby and give him a follow over on Twitch as well. He's incredibly good at goal making, even though he's only been doing it for a short period of time. With the combination of playing on one of the largest population servers in the US, he has achieved some outstanding results in such a short period of time goal making. So well worth checking him out. So yeah. So now we know that it'll be worthwhile to get your current experience in crafting legendaries to at least rank 3, if not even rank 4, to be competitive in patch 9.1. Yeah, this is a crucial thing to note, really. With unlocking rank 3, that will be sufficient enough so that you can then start crafting rank 5s come patch 9.1. If, of course, you have unlocked rank 4, all the better, right? Because as soon as you're able to make those Vestige of Origins, you can start making not only rank 5s, but also rank 6s. There's the common argument that, well, people aren't going to be able to craft their rank 6s, so why are people going to need them? I'm pretty stern in the opinion that it doesn't really matter. People will still be buying them, people will still be crafting them, there will still be a market for them, regardless of people can actually make their rank 6 legendaries yet. So, yeah, get on the legendaries for sure. There was a few comments regarding this. The barrier to entry is also the massive gold cost. Yes, this is true for legendaries from day one. The gold cost has been absolutely gross. To all the people saying that it's not worth crafting rank 4s, yeah, show them the 400k ring sale. That's a good example, right? Week 1 of Shadowlands, I unlocked the rank 4 legendary ring and was able to sell one in the very first week for 400,000 gold. That just proves a point, really, that it doesn't matter if people can actually go to the rune carver and make them, there will be a market for them. So if you have your rank 4s going into patch 9.1 and are able to get access to the Vestige of Origins and get crafting, just because people can't use the rank 6s doesn't mean that people won't buy them. So yeah, get on board. Farming time needed in order to get rank 4 of whatever piece, blah blah blah. I know some goblins will be ecstatic if the system remains like this, but I can't help but feel for the average player who just wants a capped legendary, the average player doesn't have a huge amount of gold. The people making these will be able to set the price as high as they want. Not always true. Yes, sure, if you're the only person listing that, you get to set the price at whatever you want. But the second that a second person also tries to compete, it's just a downward spiral to whoever's willing to sell it cheapest. Supply and demand kicks in very quickly when there's more than... competition is only good for the consumer, right? Anybody that lives in the US will know this from internet providers, right? If you live somewhere where you only have the access to one internet provider, then that internet provider gets to, basically quote to you how much your internet costs, and it's gross, right? But just as soon as a second internet provider comes along, they get into a battle about who's cheaper, and the consumer wins, right? It's the exact same thing here. So yeah, the gold barrier to entry is a bit gross, but eventually prices will filter their way down to whatever the consumer is willing to buy that item for. So, and in a way, the super high gold cost to legendaries, yeah, it means that people aren't crafting their own legendaries to use themselves, but it genuinely means that they can go to the auction house and just buy whatever it is that they want, and for the most part, it's a competitive price because. Yeah, it just is. I sort of agree with this, but not 100%. With this confirmed, crafters who want to skill up new Legos that can't make today and be ready for patch 9.1, I would suggest the cheapest way to do this is by taking them to only rank 3 for now. There'll still be roughly a 3-week period after 9.1 drops where players only have enough soul cinders for rank 5s. Crafting rank 5s during these 3-week periods, if you can make and sell 15 rank 5s in that period, you'll unlock rank 4 and be ready for when rank 6 is needed. Yeah, this in my opinion is kind of the bare minimum. I wouldn't want to be going into 9.1 with any less than rank 3 unlocked. If you've only unlocked rank 2 in certain items right now, you should really put that little bit of extra effort in to unlock rank 3. Even if it's an item slot that right now sounds dead, right? If it sounds like it's a dead slot right now, that doesn't mean when all of the balance changes and legendary changes come in, who knows? What is a dead slot right now could end up being the best in slot for a class, and you'll start to see the sales spike for it. If you considered it dead and so didn't level it, those that did level it will be able to take an instant take advantage of the change in market instantly, and you don't want to be left behind, basically. Want to Buy Gold showed his face again on the YouTubes. He's been dormant for a little while on YouTube, making only a video every once in a while, but he did put together a nice little video for rank 6, rank 5 and rank 6 legendaries based on his experience playing on the PTR for a few days, so that's definitely worth a watch as well. Without question, Reckles always puts together some good information, and he's been a fountain of knowledge for a lot of people in the community, so well worth checking out. Do you think the old rank 1 to rank 3 plate will be easier to sell later on? I think rank 1s and rank 2s are in a bit of a sticky situation come patch 9.1. True, there will be more demand for them for sure, but it's very hard to tell just exactly what's going to happen. If you can't sell them now, I mean, don't give them away for free, but I mean, holding on to them, the demand will increase heavily in patch 9.1 for all ranks. So if you struggle to sell them now, don't worry too much. Don't heavily discount them too much. Consider just, storing them for a little while. Patch 9.1 is not that far away at this point, so you should be able to sell them in patch 9.1 regardless. Okay, so the next topic of conversation for the weekly economy report is that there is some information regarding some of the botting software out there. Now, of course, we are not condoning the use of botting software, but to those unscrupulous players who do choose to bot, it's been made more difficult for them to do such. Oh, subs on YouTube, thank you, I do appreciate it. Yeah, there is basically without going into too much detail, because like I said, I don't want to really advertise these in any way, shape or form, there was in essence 2 main publicly available bots, which both appear to have closed their doors recently, meaning that this isn't going to 100% get rid of bots. It's more going to just hinder the casual botter. The people that are doing it at scale and are botting 400-500 accounts, they're probably using their own custom pieces of software to do it anyway, meaning that they're probably unaffected by this. But the average teenage Joe that goes and, you know, just spends $20 on a public bot to try and make a quick buck selling some gold is going to be really hindered or it's going to be stopped in their tracks, basically. Like I said, I don't particularly want to go into too much detail about it, because the only attention I really want to draw to this is the fact that there should be significantly less bots kicking about to what there were. This only plays in favour to the recent multi-box changes. Now, unfortunately, anybody that enjoyed multi-boxing as a way to play the game has kind of been caught in the firing line a little bit, but it does appear that Blizzard's change to the multi-boxing policy has meant that they've been able to crack down a little bit harder on the bots, probably meaning that if they can, that it's probably now easier for Blizzard to say that, right, we can see that you're using some form of third-party software, that's against the TOS. So hopefully it means that Blizzard are just a little bit better at catching these bots nowadays and can put more systems in place to circumvent bots getting through and at least minimize their effectiveness. Bots are never going away. Where there's money to be made, of which there most definitely is, where there's money to be made, you will find bots. That is without question. But if Blizzard can at least limit their effectiveness, it can only be a good thing for the player base as a whole. So having some of the new botting, the public, easy to get your hands on bots, having them being closed down is a massive plus for the community as a whole, without question. Zanzaful put together a bit of information about this. Both Jack and Zanzaful actually put a bit of information. This was a post that was made by Jack the Dipper on the subreddit, WoW Economy subreddit. One thing that was quite interesting is his comments on the effect of the token price, in that we may see an increase. We may see a gold price increase in the token now that botters are cashing out all of their gold before losing it. However, when the dust has settled, we may see a lower token price in general. Yeah, this kind of it's going to be the trend. We've already seen that a lot of bots are just dumping materials in huge quantities at really cheap prices, presumably because they fear that they're about to get banned. And they are just in cash out mode for the most part. So there are some opportunities from a goal making point of view to get out there, check your auction house, maybe look at some of the past expansion materials, because bots don't care where they get their gold from. If they can farm heavy callous hide, they'll farm heavy callous hide. If they can farm copper ore and sell it, they'll farm copper ore and sell it. So they don't they don't care what the material is. If they can farm up a bunch of it and sell it on the auction house, they will do so. So have a skim through some of the old herbs, some of the old ores, anything that's being posted in like seemingly over the top quantities. You may be able to get yourself a good price on some crafting materials, or even for just a simple flip if you're patient. Next on the list, we have making gold with a mission table. This is partly my doing. In fact, it's almost entirely my doing. I had this theory for a long time that the mission table in Shadowlands is really lucrative, but I wasn't able to really put data behind that theory for a long time, until somebody stepped forward and gave me a week's worth of mission data that they'd collected. And it proved to be very, very lucrative, almost more lucrative than I'd expected. Yes, It's 2 minutes a day to play a little Facebook game once you've got the system set up. I am very aware though that getting the mission table up to scratch is a heavily time-gated process. Every time you press a mission, it's going to be between, what is it, like 4 and 12 hours for that mission to complete. That is by definition time gating. The sooner you get your mission table up and running, the longer you'll be able to take advantage of the fact that it appears to be very, very lucrative. 100k gold a week on a single character just by sending missions out. I mean, that was kind of the upper limit of what can be achieved. But even just raw gold, you can make a sizable amount of raw gold from the mission table. Get your followers. There's currently 17 followers available. Get those 17 followers. Get them leveled up. Do a little bit of work on the anima situation to try and upgrade your covenant equally, so you get the boost in anima, and the mission table then is completely self-sustaining, and you just churn out missions as fast as you humanly can. It's basically free materials. It's basically free gold. There's almost no point not to do it. Any level 60 character that you have, you should be focusing on getting their mission table set up, because once it is fully set up, it's literally a few clicks of a button and hey presto, there's some gold for you. GG, well played. Check out the video if you haven't seen it already. It's on the YouTube. It's one of we posted it, I think, about this time last week, so it's about a week old, the video, but you can find it on the YouTube channel. Was it the, when did I, oh yeah, there we go, about 4 days ago it got listed. Investments before 9.1. This is a hot topic of conversation right now. We don't have a release date for 9.1 currently, but people are planning ahead, which is good. One thing I always recommend if you're trying to, you know, make a bunch of gold in World of Warcraft is look ahead to what's going to happen. We know that patch 9.1 is coming. We know it's not going to be more than a month or so away at this point. We know a lot of what the systems are going to be in patch 9.1. So is there any planning we can do to get prepared and ready for it? People are looking on what to spend their hard-earned gold on. Is there going to be something I can buy now that's going to be worth more in patch 9.1? A lot of this is speculation. Investments are always speculation. So my biggest advice is act with caution. Don't overspend. If you've only got 100,000 gold, don't spend 90,000 gold on Leystrite ore, hoping that it will go up in value. You want to maybe do smaller investments, but across many different things. If you've got 1 million gold, maybe buy 50,000 gold of 5 or 6 different materials. So then if one of those wins, it covers the cost of maybe one of those not winning. And hopefully eventually you'll come out one step further forward. But there were some good comments put towards this. So let's run through a couple of them real quick. I restarted WoW midway through patch 9.0 and I'm playing on my first ever max character. Guild is all quit until 9.1. How many of us have heard that story? So I'm stuck without much to do, bored until then, and hoping to learn a little bit about goal making to prepare myself for the next patch. They haven't put in much effort to goal making other than running the mission table. GG, well played. But I have been rather lucky with BOE drops and have got about 450,000 gold to invest, trying to decide what should invest into. I don't have time to stand on the auction house cancel scanning all day, as I can usually only log in for a few hours in the evening. Got engineering and blacksmithing leveled up, open to leveling other professions. So this was the main question that was put forward, and simply put, this is a good position to be in. I would say 450,000 gold is a nice starting point. Generally speaking though, if you've got less than 1 million gold, I probably wouldn't be spending much of that gold on investments, because there's likely to be something that will turn up in patch 9.1 that will require you to spend a lot of gold on it. and it's safe to have a nest egg of gold somewhere. My nest egg usually is 1,000,000 gold where possible. That just means I can basically buy anything that I want off the auction house at a moment's notice and not worry about it too much. But of course, if you've got slightly less gold, there are options for you still. So cancel scanning can be so prevalent. If you can't sit at the auction house all day, you frankly can't play the auction house game. This is something I covered in a video yesterday. The more I play on a super high population server, the more I realise that if you're not playing the auction house, you're not selling anything on a high pop server. But there is an easy solution to that, right? And it's just to focus on it for 1 hour, like you would do going out farming. If you would dedicate an hour of your time to going and doing some farming or going and doing some skinning, have that same mindset, but turn your focus to the auction house. Sit at the auction house, get your TSM setup ready, get your inventory ready, and then just focus an hour on selling, selling, selling. You want to be cancel scanning, you want to be relisting. If you're not hitting the auction house throttle, you're not trying hard enough. And you want to do that in the peak hours of the day, or of the week, I should say. So Wednesday evening, just before everybody goes off to do their raiding again, you want to be sat at the auction house for an hour selling potions. You want to be selling food. You then later in the evening, you might want to be selling your enchants for when everybody's got their new gear. If you just tunnel vision, focus on selling stuff for an hour, you can sell a ludicrous amount of stuff in a very short period of time on these high population servers. But you need to kind of plan a little bit ahead of time. You've got to make sure that you've got your stuff crafting. During that 1 hour that you focus on the auction house, you do not want to be distracted by, I've ran out of potions of awesomeness, I should go craft some more potions real quick. No, if you run out of stock more next time. That's the lesson to be learned from that. Don't get distracted by going and doing other things. Just tunnel vision. Keep on that auction house throttle for sure. Jump in game, please. You're not too much a fan of the spinning background. Is it making people go dizzy? Maybe we'll turn the AFK mode off. That'll fix the problem. There we go. Whilst cancel scanning can be a bit annoying, if you play on a big enough realm, just go ham for like half an hour, an hour, get your stock ready, and then just focus on selling it. Do your cancel scans, and then you'll be done, right? You'll make enough gold in that 1 hour to not have to worry about it, and then you can go do your restock. You can go run your Torghast runs, you can go raid with your guild, whatever the case may be. Some other advice for this, I know we got real off topic real quick there, but the legendary crafting market is exceptionally competitive. Without a second account to cancel scan, I wouldn't touch it at this point. On the high pop realms, this is probably true. On high pop realms, this is relatively true. Medium pop realms, low pop realms, there are many opportunities still available within the legendary crafting system though. Without question. There are multiple servers out there. They are really not difficult to find, where there is just gaps in the market completely. Even on Tor and Mill earlier today, one of the largest realms in the EU, we found multiple opportunities within tailoring even, to be buying things out, to be relisting, to be stepping in with your own crafts, things that are profitable. There are options. You just got to kind of look a bit deeper to find them. With that being said, the current implementation of Korthite, there'll be a big barrier to entry the first day. Having a max level alt army is going to be massively popular in the first week as people rush rank 5s, being able to craft those legendaries as opposed to selling the Korthite vestiges could be worth it. This depends on balancing. Korthite crystals, if it remains one Korthite crystal to one vestige to one base legendary, they're not going to sell for a lot. Yeah, they might be 10k in the first day, but they'll be 500 gold by the end of the week. I wouldn't spend a lot of time leveling up alts just in the hope that you'll be able to make super amounts of gold in the first week. We're going to need to wait to see what the balancing is on the quantity of these. If you need, I don't know, 5 Corthite crystals for every vestige, then it's a different story, right? But as it stands at the moment, if you've got alts, make sure that they are ready to go into Corthite. But to go into Corthia. But I wouldn't be leveling up alts specifically for the purpose. As I think it will be a very short-lived. It'll be a cash grab. Let's put it this way. It'll be a cash grab. You'll be able to sell a bunch of these Corthite crystals in the first week for sure. But after that, it'll just be a regular material, and it will find its balancing point like any other material does. I would assume the 10 times tier 1, 2, you need to get to tier 3. A dead money, or for starters, it's 15. Yeah, okay, this comment is really random. It's totally all over the place. Every sentence is something totally different. Yeah, I think the best solution is, if you want to know about patch 9.1 preparation, go watch Zanzaful's video. Zanzaful put together a really good video the other day about just a few things to tick off the list of what's going to be useful for patch 9.1. As we get slightly closer to 9.1, I'll probably do a similar video myself, going through some of the options that I see as potentially profitable. But yeah, a couple of things really. If you're going to focus on materials for investments, make sure you have a backup plan. If you're only buying materials to flip them, that's really risky because you just don't know what's going to happen to the material price. If you're buying materials, you want that backup plan. So yes, flipping them is one option, but you probably want to make sure that you've got a profession that can then use those materials to give you a get out of jail free card if your flip fails.
I like money.
Haha, I like money too. Thank you, Woo. We'll bank that one for a minute. But yes, go check out Zanzaful's video if you haven't seen it already. It's a relatively long video, but it's worthwhile sitting through it, as there's some good knowledge bombs in there. So go check it out. Make sure you give Zanzaful a like on YouTube. Hit the sub button. I think he's close to his 1,000 subs there on YouTube now, so he may have already passed it at this point. Apologies, Zan, if you've already crossed the 1,000 sub mark. But let's get Zanzaful to 1,000 subs if he's not there quite yet. But yeah, there we go. There's the WoW Economy subreddit for the week. Some interesting topics this week. Thinking forward to 9.1 is a smart way of doing things. Getting your mission table up and running, in my opinion, is a really good thing that you should be doing right now. There's not much else to be doing in game, let's be honest. Bots, or at least the casual botter, finding it more difficult to continue their operation, can only be a good thing. And of course, we're now getting some information about the legendaries in a little bit more detail than we've had before. Yes, all good, all positive. Nice to see that there's plenty going on still, even in this downtime. So I'll leave it there for this one, boys and girls. If you're watching this live on Twitch, feel free to jump in with your questions, and I'll go through some of them in a minute. If you end up watching this on the YouTubes, hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys next time.